Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and today I will be reviewing The Last Nude by Alice Avery. The Last Nude tells the story of Rafaela, who's a 17-year-old girl in 1927. She is living in Paris at the time and she is pretty lonely in that city. She doesn't really know anybody except for her roommate, her best friend, essentially, who is kind of in the same situation as her. Rafaela, in order to survive in Paris, has started to sell her body and go out with men who she doesn't really like and she doesn't really enjoy spending time with, but she does it because she thinks it's the only way that she's going to be able to provide for herself and it's the only way that she is going to be able to get money. So one day she is just in Paris, just going about her business, and she meets a woman by the name of Tamara Pica. Now, Tamara was an actual living person, just like Rafaela was. Tamara was an Art Deco painter in the 1920s. She just made these beautiful paintings, these beautiful portraits and nudes, and was actually pretty good. So if you don't know who Tamara Pica is, I had no idea who Tamara was when I started reading this, but the moment that I picked up this book, I Googled her and found her work, and her work is really, really great. She was this painter who used to paint a lot of Dutches and just people who were wealthy, essentially, and she has a really cool, original, interesting, and unique kind of style. Her work is obviously Art Deco, but there's Cubism in there, and she was really cool. Her paintings were really cool. She wasn't really cool, but her paintings were really good. So Tamara sees Rafaela and obviously is attracted to what she sees, so she stops her and asks her to model for her. Rafaela is at that moment in need of money, so she tells Tamara that if you pay me, I will work for you and I will model for you. And Tamara tells her that she will paint her and she will pay her, but she has to be nude. So that begins the relationship between this model and painter. And this relationship becomes not only a working relationship, but also a romantic and sexual relationship. Tamara is 29 at the beginning of the novel and Rafaela is 17, so there is quite a difference there of about 10 years, and they're both at completely different stages in their life. Rafaela is really naive and Tamara just knows a lot more of the world. She is a lot more of her own woman. I don't think that when we meet Rafaela she really knows who she is, but Tamara definitely knows who she is and knows what she wants. So that's basically essentially the story. Reasons why I like this book. There's a lot of reasons why I like this book. I gave this book 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. I thought it was just fantastic. So well done. It just takes you to that time. It takes you to the 1920s in Paris, this cultural, beautiful, exciting time, because I think that Alice Avery does such a wonderful job at writing and creating this world that any reader can be taken back the moment that they open this book and the moment that they start reading these pages. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of things about this book that I really enjoyed. Number one, I really enjoy the setting of it. I love art. I love Paris. I love everything that was in this book. It is done in such an extraordinary way, like I said before, so you really get a sense of what this world felt like and what it felt like to be a member of this community back in the day. This book really is for somebody that enjoys art. It's definitely for someone that enjoys art. If you're somebody that doesn't like art and doesn't appreciate art, that's completely fine, but this book is definitely for an art lover, I think. And I'm definitely an art lover, so I just really enjoyed all the conversations about artists and all the amazing things that I learned thanks to this book. I mean, there were a couple things in this book that I had no idea were happening at this time. So it was really awesome to be taken into that world and to learn about the world. Number 2, I really liked the main character, Rafaela. I like that she wasn't your naive type of character, even though she was a very naive human being just because of her age. But at the same time, it wasn't like this young girl who meets a woman who just teaches her everything, and she follows her blindly. There are certain moments in the book where that does happen, and where Raphael is completely taken aback by Tamara and by who Tamara is and what Tamara tells her and shows her. But there's a point in this book where Raphael needs to really grasp what has happened to her and come out of it on the other side. And she hits rock bottom, but she comes out of it on the other side. So I really like that. I like the fact that she was able to kind of hold her own, even though she was breaking down our parts in this book. And I don't know if you're going to be able to understand what I'm trying to say, but I think that if you've read the book, you might be able to get what I mean by this. And the third reason why I really like the novel is because I thought that Tamara was a really interesting character. She was terrible. If I thought that Kitty Butler from Tipping the Velvet was a bad girlfriend, let me tell you about Tamara Delampika, because she was just a complete B-word. Yes, she was not a very good person at all, but I like that. I like when you have these female characters that are just really bad and nasty and just not good, because it just, I don't know, I really liked it. I like that Tamara was what she was in this novel, because it made it really interesting and exciting, and I thought that it was a really great twist to the novel as well. So yeah, that is for the non-spoilery part of this review. Now we'll be talking about it in a more spoilery form. So if you don't want to know spoilers and if you haven't read the book, then I suggest you go and leave this video. So yeah, there are kind of a couple twists in this. One of them is the fact that Tamara was playing Raphael pretty much the whole time, or maybe not the whole time, but for a good portion of the book. I mean, I knew when I was reading it that Tamara was going to do something bad to Raphael. I just knew it. She wasn't a loyal person. She definitely manipulated her plenty of times throughout the book. And obviously Raphael didn't realize this because she was so young and she was experiencing love for the first time. But if you are somebody that is an outsider and you're kind of reading this relationship, you will know that Tamara was just basically manipulating her the entire time in order to get from Raphael what she wants. But yeah, I found that to be great, that reveal when you find out what was really happening in Tamara's head the whole time. I really loved that moment. I also loved the moment when Raphael decides to save herself after jumping off the bridge. I thought that was really wonderful, because I have read so many books where a girl gets sad over some other girl or some other boy and they kill themselves, and I was like, no, please Raphael, don't do this, don't kill yourself. So I really loved that she, at the moment that she hit that water, she was like, I'm not dying, I'm not letting this kill me, and she decided to save herself. So I really loved that, because for once, you know, they realize that their life is more important than this heartbreak, and that this person, it just isn't worth anything to them. So I really love the fact that she didn't kill herself at the end. Now, the ending of this book, while I did really enjoy it, I was really sad about the fact that that was the ending that Ellis Avery chose, because we are left completely confused about what happened to Raphael, and I really enjoyed her character, like I've mentioned before in the videos, so I just felt really sad about not knowing what happened to her, and it made me really upset that the whole Nazi thing happened. Yes, there are Nazis in this book. Every time I read a book and Nazis show up, I'm just like, no, please, please. I think, along with the rest of the world, just hate anything related to that horrific time in the history of the world. So I just felt really bad for this fictional character, and felt horribly not knowing what happened to her and knowing what happened to Tamara. I mean, Tamara got way more than she deserved. She was a horrible person, and yeah, she was losing her mind, and obviously she lived a life filled of regret over the things that she did, but she was just horrible, and she deserved to be sad because she was horrible. So yeah, if you haven't heard of this book, if you haven't read this book, please read it. This book is wonderful. It's unlike any book I've ever read. If you have not read this book, please do. It's really great, really well done, really well written, and I just really enjoyed it. It's definitely a book that I will read again. The moment that I was done, I was like, I have to read it again because I have to experience it again, knowing what was in the mind of this character and of this person. And I think that I will definitely be picking this book up maybe in like a month or something, just to like get back to it and read it again, because I really enjoyed it. And I think that the second time that you read it, after you know everything that happens, it's just gonna be a completely different experience. So I am looking forward to that. And yeah, thank you very much if you have watched this video, and bye. Look how beautiful this cover is, you guys. Like, that's Rafaela naked in the front cover. Beautiful.